Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and I source cars for people on a professional basis. Although most of the cars I source are between £1,000 and £5,000, very often I've been asked to show something a little bit cheaper on the channel, and so I came up with No Budget Reviews, the series where we look at cars that you can buy in good condition with an MOT for under £1,000 and you can enjoy driving. We don't film this in an expensive manner, we don't use separate microphones, we don't use dual head tripods, we don't even use a DSLR, but we do have a lot of fun. Well, viewers. Some of you have known about this for some time, some of you haven't. This is a 1998 Volvo C70 T5 GT Coupé, and I'm proud to say that I am the owner of this car. It's the first car that I actually bought in 2.5 years. In my job I get offered loads of cars to film, loads of cars to source, but I don't tend to buy too many of them, but I have bought this. This colour is called Cassis Pearl Metallic. It's actually quite a sought after colour. Within the Volvo community I found out there are some owners, sorry about the vibration by the way viewers, my radio unit is turned off by the way. So there are quite a few owners of these around the world who've been in touch with me via the Volvo C70 first generation Facebook group, and they seem pretty happy with their cars. This has only done about 110,000 miles, which for the Volvo white block engine that this has, just 5-cylinder unit, is nothing with proper maintenance. And it wasn't quite No Budget Reviews money, but you can pick these up for under £1,000 actually with an MOT, as my friend Mr Hunter from the Jeff Buys Cars channel earlier this year demonstrated, but he did pick one of these up for £800. So my friend Mr McPherson just sitting in there. He's looking very comfortable. Hello, sir.
That's because it is very comfortable.
And sir, it has a beige leather interior with Alcantara inserts and wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior. We'll just have a look round the front actually. We got these very nice wheels. It's quite an early one, this. It's a 98, April 98. Demonstrator car as far as I understand it, and after that it went to its first owner for 10 years, second owner for 14 years. And we've got things like headlamp protectors on this, we might have some headlamp wiper action at some point as well. Little sort of corner bits on there. The car really isn't in perfect condition. We've got gravel rash, we've got funny bits of lacquer on the bonnet, but even on the top of the car there's actually a little bit of rust. I don't think it's this side, I think it's the other side. It's starting to bubble on the roof. But you can't see too much on the video. The main thing you can see is the cracked rear bumper, which isn't really the best. The reason why we're filming this actually here, as opposed to somewhere, you know, a bit less busy, is because this is the day we picked up the car. Mr McPherson very kindly gave me a lift to the walking down to pick it up, and it's going to a friend of mine in about an hour because he hasn't got a car at all at the moment, so he's going to borrow this. So I've got to do this now, otherwise I won't be able to do it another week. But yes, anyway, yes, it was a very nice design, this car actually, designed by Ian Callum under the directorship of Peter Horbury, who was the Volvo head of design at the time. And I think it's very stylish. The platform this is based on is the same one as the 850 S70 and the first generation of V70. It's known as the P80 platform, and there are bits of you know, S70, V70 bits in here as well, although TWR actually did a lot of the engineering for this car, and here's the same TWR that is the company that normally does racing engineering based in this country. Right, I suppose we'd better ask Mr McPherson to step outside and have a look at this beige leather and Alcantara interior with wood. Right, he was very comfortable in there, viewers, but I need to be comfortable now myself. So frameless doors. Yes. This is the sort of thing we like, viewers. Yes, nice full instruments on here. I could do with like an oil pressure gauge or something like that, but it's okay. Electric sunroof. I'm not going to touch that today because, well, I'm a bit funny about electric sunroofs in old cars, and that apparently is a problem area with the C70 Coupés. We have, however, got this very interesting 3-disc CD changer. Cruise control and traction control, an info center display, heated mirrors, heated seats, electric seats, remote boot and fuel release, an automatic driver's window, and all kinds of other delights for luxury. I think this car would have cost, when it was new, somewhere around £31,000. It didn't cost that when I bought it at the auction last week, viewers. It cost considerably less than that. Have a look in the glove box. I mean, we'll see if my secret mission documents go in. I don't think they will. God. Do you know, viewers, a very early C70 was in the Saint film in 1997, and that was a red colour, actually. I'm a massive fan of the old Saint series of Roger Moore, and then Return of the Saint with Ian Ogilvy. I'm something of like an expert on old ITC series. But that film, car, lovely, brilliant. I love the car. It's a manual, actually, and that's manual T5. The film, not my favourite, I'm afraid, despite having the original producer, who was a chap called Robert S. Baker, working on it, and Roger Moore appearing on the radio like this. In it, yeah, not the best film ever. Anyway, that's not really about the car, is it? Has a warning light, is just down here. Look at all these controls, and you can twiddle this and twiddle that and all kinds of things. We will be looking at that 3 CD changer in a second, because the action on it is just lovely. Dolby surround, really good stereo in this car, actually. That was one of the things people used to say about it, was how good the stereo was. The seats are really comfortable, actually. They are memory seats as well. I think I'm going to put the key in actually now, and we'll just have a go with this, because it's it's exciting. Huge bank of warning lights, none of which stay on when you start the car. We've still got the little thing here, though. Yes, just like the old Volvos, seatbelt warning lights are plenty. So if we turn this on, hopefully we'll get copyright. Let's turn that right down. Okay. No, thank you. And if I touch this, oh. That, viewers, is exciting. We like things like that. And working dual zone climate control. Unfortunately, the sort of rubber bits seem to be coming off this, which is common for cars like this. For one of the switches, I think, of the worst area that's actually got that problem, but it's not really a problem when you're paying, this kind of money for a luxury sports coupe. Let's just see if we get in the back. That might be a good idea. So there we go, electric memory seats, but I think this is just manual, this. Moving forward. Oh no. Oh. This just gets better and better, viewers. And we got even more wood in the back. This is going to be interesting getting in here. Oh my gosh. That wasn't great. That wasn't great at all. Never mind, we'll just leave it there. Right. We've got 12-volt socket in here, and we've got another ashtray. And what on earth that's for, I don't know. But it's very nice in here. We've even got the really posh bit of having the seatbelt buckles on the outside. And more beige leather. Actually, the headroom it's okay. I am brushing the roof, but the seat's quite comfortable. I think if I slouched a bit, there we go, that's all right. And the seat, you can see the passenger seat is just in that position. My driver's seat would be about the same. So yeah, it's actually, for this kind of car, it's not that bad. It's just getting in and out's not the best. But that's okay. Let's have a look in the boot. So you can pop the boot using the remote on the key fob, or you can pop it on the driver's door. It's quite a big boot for a car like this. It goes all the way back, and there's actually a ski hatch there. I don't think these seats fold. But there is a ski hatch there, and you lift this up, and yes, you've got a toolkit and a jack and a nice space saver in here. See, actually the car's really good. I think the only bit of rust on this car, and they're not known for rust anyway, is just up here, where it's just bubbling along here. I think that's it. What's probably happened is this has been in the garage for most of its life, and maybe there's a water leak or something on top of there on the garage in the same place. But these cars are not known for rust. They're actually quite good in that respect. I think though it's time to have a look at that lovely 5-cylinder engine. So if you're familiar with like a S70, V70 P1 or an 850, this will look very familiar, because you can actually even change the front of a C70 for a V70 or S70 front end if you want to. That's possible. So Volvo's famous white block engine, in this case a 5-cylinder version. There are also 4- and 6-cylinder versions of this engine. The 960 I filmed on 2 Jacket Reviews in 2019 is a 6-cylinder version of this engine. In this car it's transversely mounted, as you can see. One thing you do need to do with this engine, and all C70s, the first generation, have a white block engine, they're all 5-cylinder engines, is to check the PCV system. You do that by running the engine, which I won't do, but take the oil filler cap off here, like this, and if you feel the car blowing your hand back once you put it on there, then that's not a great sign. If you feel it slightly sucking it in, or just nothing like this one, then that's okay. But sorting out the PCV system is a big job. Likewise, the turbo on this, to replace it would be more than the value of the car. So just make sure your turbo's okay. I have heard different things about whether you can use 95 octane fuel in this engine or not. Certainly the other engines that were available, that's fine, and E10's not a problem for any Volvo. I think I was 1974 or something. But because this is a T5, I've heard it advised that you always use 90 and 99 octane fuel. You can use 95 in, you know, like an emergency, but it's best, I think, to use 90 at 99. That's what I'll be doing on this car. This expansion tank here, that's actually one that will fit a Rover 800. If you have a problem with your Rover 800, you can get one from, this is I think an 850 one, they're the same. But you have to modify it very slightly, but that's a really random bit of trivia. Right, that's enough of me waffling on. I think it's time that we went for a little drive, viewers. So the C70, as I've mentioned before, is based on the same platform as the 850, S70 and V70 P1, known as the P80 platform, but modified by Volvo in collaboration with TWR. There were 4 basic types of engine available in these cars. The first one to become available was this one, which is the T5, which has 237 horsepower, although later on it was up to 245 horsepower. The second engine to be introduced was a 2.5 litre, although it's actually closer to 2.4 litres, and later on that engine was actually renamed to the 2.4 as opposed to the 2.5. That came along when they introduced the fly-by-wire throttle in 1999. That generated 167 horsepower, and later on I think we upped it to about sort of 170, but it didn't actually last that long. It was actually replaced for the 2001 model year, or rather just discontinued. I think in 1999 there was a brand new engine introduced, which was a 2 litre with 161 horsepower, but has a turbo. There was also a turbo version of the 2.5, later 2.4, depending on the year, and that generated 193 horsepower, and then later on it generated, I think after about 2002, it generated close to 200 horsepower. Certainly this T5, despite having 237 horsepower, it feels no more intimidating to drive than, I don't know, like a basic, 2 litre 20 valve A50. It's absolutely fine. I've got the automatic gearbox here in economy mode, which is probably what I want. That's just tend to be the sort of driving that I do. Particularly as this car does need a cam belt doing. It's been done next weekend, and I've been instructed not to absolutely mash my foot onto the floor until that's been done. Cam belt intervals on this car are about every 5 years, I think. To drive, it's very, very relaxing. It's extremely relaxing. These seats are beautifully comfortable. I know this car as well will do 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds, so I'm not really concerned about, having to sort of pull out into traffic and things like that. It just does it with this automatic gearbox. There was a manual available, of course. Well, I think this is actually a 4-speed auto, and some of the later cars are a 5-speed auto. I've also heard that the power outputs didn't change later on for some sources, but we did love it in others. But I think I've read more power outputs actually changed rather than they didn't. So I'm going to go with that. Yes, just really comfortable sort of cruiser. Really, just coming up this dual carriageway. It doesn't feel like a car that's 24 years old at all. It really doesn't feel like that. It feels like something much more modern. This car's done 110,000 miles. See if the cruise control works. So on, we set it by setting it with this. Does that work? Yes, it does. I've heard these are not the most reliable systems, but that's working just fine. Overall, this is a really nice kind of drive. I know it's probably not the ultimate in handling, which, something like an E46 BMW would be, because rear-wheel drive. And the cabriolets do suffer from scuttle shake. Those actually were produced a lot longer than the Coupé. The Coupés were discontinued in 2002. Cabriolets lasted until 2005, and after the second generation C70 came in. But it's really nice. I think that's enough superlatives for now. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. With the help of the first generation Volvo C70 owners group on Facebook, let's have a look at some common issues with these cars. Sunroof leaking, yeah, covered that. Window regulators, window cables not allowing these windows to seal. This one seems fine. For the convertibles, it's actually the roof. That's probably why there's quite a few cheap ones around. Now, after the 1998 model year, this is a 98, the electronic throttles came in, or the fly-by-wire, and those can be a problem. This one's a cable throttle, so this is less problematic, but yeah, just watch that if you're buying the 99 cars or onwards. The ABS module, which is common to 850, S70 and V70 as well, they suffer from dry solder joints. It's quite easy to actually change those, so it's not a big problem. And we've mentioned the PCV system as well. So viewers, should you buy a first generation Volvo C70? Well, I think Mr. Hunter from Jeff Buys Cars would say yes. Would I say yes? Well, I quite like this car, viewers, so I think that's a yes from me too. Particularly if you could find one for, no budget reviews money, which I believe you still can. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we will see you again soon for more inexpensive motoring.